It's NBA action on EA Sports. I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Jay Williams for what should be a terrific matchup here tonight. From Bankers Life Fieldhouse, tonight it's the Indiana Pacers taking on the Houston Rockets. The Indiana Pacers control the opening tap. Jay, I wouldn't confuse this team with the Houston Rockets, but there is no question the Pacers are built to play fast.
Yeah, one of the fastest teams in the league, and I think depth this year will help them towards the latter part of the season, particularly in the playoffs. Last year, you felt like you saw Victor Oladipo get a little bit tired, but now due to better conditioning, you add on a guy like Tyreke Evans, you have guys like Corey Joseph. This team is loaded with depth.
Gets it down to Capella. Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down.
Oh, that's a great way to make an opening statement. It's about the team that's able to punch the other team in the mouth first. That's exactly what you want to do if you're the road team.
To Oladipo. Darren Collison, good start. He's made his first shot.
You know what I like about this pass play? Instead of putting his head down and forcing the action, he patiently waited for the play to develop.
To Paul. Short jumper stays out. Into the front court comes Collison. He'll run the offense. To Oladipo. Collison to Turner. 4-3. It's good. Defense has to pick things up.
But it was how he created the shot. As a defender, there's a tendency to stand up when you stare at the ball. Offensive player recognized that, continuously moved without the ball. Bang, that's how he set it up.
Screen coming. Nothing going here on that drive. Harden to the basket, but his shot stays out. Who left in Houston? Luke Bamute to the Clippers, Trevor Ariza to Phoenix. So, Jay, how do the Rockets adapt without two key wing defenders this year?
Well, other guys need to step up. I think you need to see P.J. Tucker step up. Gerald Green, we all know how explosive he is offensively, but he needs to make that applicable to the defensive end. Michael Carter-Williams is another big acquisition. He's a bigger guard who can use his length to deter shots. And also another kid, Markel Brown. He played at Oklahoma State. Extremely athletic, explosive on the perimeter. If these guys can do it by committee, that might be enough to eclipse the Golden State Warriors.
Inside, he scores.
You feel that? I see the confidence building.
Here's Paul. Brings it up the floor. To Harden. No good. Oh, it looked like he may have gotten him there.
And physicality is your friend. Don't let these guys get any easy ones down low. Make them look at the refs, wondering where the foul was every time.
Oladipo. Oh, he couldn't get it to go.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
To Paul. Ooh, Chris Paul. 2 for 3 now here in the first.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
Oladipo to Turner. Victor Oladipo knocks it down from mid-range.
You know, when I sit down and I think about it, it really blows my mind to how far Depot has came over the past 3 seasons. That first stop in Orlando, I remember watching a kid who had crazy talent and at times showed glimpses of brilliance, but also was really inconsistent. But in OKC, though, something changed, and it had to be the influence of Russell Westbrook. When you're around a dude that plays with 110% every day of the week, that has to push you mentally to levels that you never experienced before. That was the first time in his NBA career that he played meaningful basketball. He played with a purpose. Now when I look at him, I see a refocus. I see the dedication to the game he loves. There's no doubt now that he is the leader of this franchise.
And he's fouled. Very close, Jay. The results, he's going to the line.
You see this all the time. The defensive players establishing his presence on the court and also checking to see how far the refs are going to let him go.
And he connects on the first free throw. Goes 2 for 2. It's Indiana basketball. Oladipo. Deep two there. Won't go. Paul into the front court. Looking to make something happen. Ooh, Chris Paul. 3 for 4. Good start.
Ed, all this talk I heard over the summer, what about CP3's hamstring? Will he be able to get back his first step? Will he still have it? There you go.
Scores from the post.
There you go, finally. Shoot your shot.
Harden to Anthony. Here comes the screen. Anthony. Oh, the pass stolen by Indiana.
It's early. Get a good quality shot here.
Oladipo. Deep left corner to Oladipo. Yes, Victor Oladipo. He's 2 for 5. Not great, but trending.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
Harden to Anthony. They've slowed down the pace. Now 3 on the shot clock to Paul. Fires the 3. Double figures in the first quarter. Now at 10, including that 3.
And the more and more I watch, I become mesmerized with that follow-through. That release is effortless.
Oladipo to Turner. That'll get out off one of the Pacers. We have both squads set to make some moves right now. There will be no shortage of shots for Carmelo Anthony in Mike D'Antoni's offense, Jay. Why is it a good fit for Melo in Houston?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, if there's one guy you need to trust, his name is Daryl Morey. And the Houston Rockets organization is a stat-driven culture. So he understands at this juncture where Carmelo Anthony is in his relationship to his career. Playing with 2 pass-first type PGs in James Harden and CP3, who averaged a combined 12.5, 13 assists last year, will open up the floor extensively for Carmelo to knock down those jump shots.
To Evans. Here comes the screen. That's blocked by Harden.
Just erasing mistakes left and right.
Marquise Chris to Paul. Oh, the Pacers come away with the steal. Pacers control. Fires the 3. Drains it.
And in today's game, you have to make shots like that. Nice work draining it from deep.
Harden with it up top. Down just a couple. Paul to P.J. Tucker. Gets it in the right corner. And that's going to get out of bounds off of Harden. New blood coming in for both sides. Joseph with it. 2-point advantage. A lot of contact, no whistle.
Yo, big kudos to the defender. It seems like his mere presence in the paint was enough to make the offensive player miss the shot before he even got off the ground.
Now ready with a couple of free throws.
Trust me, you want to avoid early foul trouble. Take that one as a warning.
Marquise Chris at the line. And hits the first free throw. Able to convert on both free throws. Oladipo into the front court. Less than a minute to go in a tightly played first quarter. Evans. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket.
Old school equals high percentage.
Houston with the basketball. Paul to Chris. Sizing up the defense. To P.J. Tucker. Paul had made his first couple, but he misses there.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
Deep three at the buzzer. At the buzzer, almost. It would have counted, but it's no good. And that does it for the first quarter. One quarter down. Neither side really distinguished itself. Jay, what stood out?
Yes, I do, but the first thing you have to expect is that this game is very similar to a relationship. There are a lot of ups and downs, but you have to be committed to the process. Both teams are committed, they'll find their flow.
Add 2 points to the board.
Again, Ed, if you made it to this level, you're capable of doing things that normal humans can never do, even if you're not known for it.
Collison to Oladipo. Short jumper won't fall. Basket's good on the follow. Way to stay with it.
As my mother would say to the defender, A for effort, F for results.
Rockets in control of the basketball. The screen sets him up for two.
There you go. I like seeing his scoring coming from unlikely sources.
Oladipo into the front court. All tied up. 1 minute gone by here in the second quarter. Has a chance. Gets a look. Can't hit.
Let's be realistic. He's probably not going to miss a lot of shots. But the more effort you can give, you want to try to tire him out. Take his legs away. Make him work to catch the ball. That's how you win a defensive battle.
Here comes the screen. Has a look. He connects off the step back.
I wasn't quite expecting him to get there, but I can be wrong. Sometimes, not a lot, but maybe sometimes.
Collison to Turner. To Oladipo. To Collison. Jay, last year, Rockets 65-17. Good for #1 record in the West. What's going to be good enough this year for the Rockets to get to the NBA Finals?
Well, you need CP3 to be healthy. If he's healthy, you can make an argument that the Rockets may have won the Western Conference Finals against the Golden State Warriors. But also, I think James Harden needs to continue to build on his play in the playoffs in particular. Everybody knows about how great he was during the regular season. But those last 6 games against the Golden State Warriors, he really struggled from the three-point line. He shot 37% during the regular season. He shot 20% in the Western Conference Finals.
Can't connect on the second, and he splits the pair. Collison into the front court. They're down 3. To Young. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
He should get some kind of acting award. That's a great sell by the offensive player. But guess what? The refs bit, and that's the game.
Darren Collison trying to cash in on the three-point play. A career 85% free throw shooter. Got it. Houston takes over. Carter Williams. Gordon to the basket, but a shot no good. To Oladipo. From the painted area, won't go down.
Seems like a lot of contact on that play. If I were that player, I would pull the ref over to the side, talk to him, express to him how much contact there was so he could look for that same foul call potentially the next time down the court.
Anthony. To Carter Williams. Trying to cash in, and he buries it.
And ball movement is one of those great things. One of the things you learn early in this game is that if everybody gets involved, then everyone has a chance to win.
Screen coming. Has a chance. Yes, Victor Oladipo. Now 3 for 9.
VO, he may not be the superhero that Indy wanted, but he's definitely the one they need.
To Anthony. Screen coming. Anthony. To Gerald Green. Shot clock to 4 for Houston. Has a look. Gordon shot, no good. Indiana with the basketball to Oladipo. Oh, blocked by Chris.
Don't stare him down like that afterwards.
Carter Williams with it up top. He'll run the offense. For 3, shakes free and hits.
You live by the 3, you die by the 3. And guess what? They're living large right now.
Now the Pacers going to use a timeout as they'll discuss matters in what's now a 3-point game. Pacers, Jay, were good last year. Then they got better in free agency.
They lose Lance Stevenson to L.A., but then they get a ton of under-the-radar type of players. Kyle O'Quinn, who provides toughness. Doug McDermott, 6'10 shooter from the outside, pick-and-pop type of player. Imagine that with Victor Oladipo. You get a guy like Tyreke Evans, who's an explosive scorer. And then Aaron Holiday. He might be the key. The third Holiday brother could be the backup PG of the future.
Rockets have the ball. Take stock of the floor. To Anthony. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Not that time. He missed it. Young. Shot from the lane won't go. Going to launch beyond the arc. Buries it on the catch and shoot.
And here's the setup, Ed, down the stretch. From a player who's been in these type of positions, Eventually, I'm going to hit you with a head fake, and you're going to have to jump considering I just made the last couple of threes. And that's when I find an easy way to get to the rim or force the defense to collapse to kick out for, guess what, another one.
Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
So many times we get on the defender for, quote-unquote, letting the offensive player score on an and one. Sometimes there's a lucky bounce, but more often than not, it's the offensive player who makes the play happen despite the defender's best intentions.
Marquise Chris at the line for a chance at a three-point play, shooting 75% so far tonight. And he misses that one free throw. Joseph with it. Margins 8 to Oladipo. Gets it in the left corner to Oladipo. Here comes the screen. Curling inside. Cashes in for two.
The NBA's most improved player was a guy that always invested in himself, both on and off the court, but he always put in the work to be better, was a sponge for information, an insatiable appetite to be the best. But the difference is, he's believing in himself. Whether that's singing at the NBA award show or performing at the highest level on the court, it's safe to say that Victor Oladipo has officially arrived.
Keeps the ball in bounds. That's what you want to see. To Oladipo. Finish that. Trying to cash in. He's too good to leave that wide open. Defense has to communicate.
Eric Gordon finished second in the Sixth Man of the Year voting after winning the previous year. But what's even more astonishing is watching his development at his time in Houston. In New Orleans, often it looked like he was lost. But there's no doubt about it. In H-Town last year, he found a second life.
Now the Rockets will use a timeout as they'll talk things over here in the second quarter. Looks like some substitutions are coming on in.
Ed, you ready for another fun fact about the Houston Rockets?
Let's do it.
Okay, the team was established in 1967, was given the name the Rockets because San Diego was the home to many space-age manufacturers. When the team eventually moved to Houston, the name still fit, giving Houston's association with NASA.
Wow, so Houston, we have a problem? All of that associated with space? Who knew?
Are you saying that because Carmelo Anthony's in town?
No, Apollo 13.
Oh, okay.
Pacers with the possession to Oladipo. Count the basket at the rim.
When the ball is in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
Uh-oh, lock-up time.
Anthony. They work it to Capella, down low. To Anthony. Won't go down. Defender's lucky he wasn't called.
I agree. I thought there was a foul, but also it's all about your approach. You can't come down the lane and jump off one leg. It's called a power lift. Go off two legs and expect the contact.
Oladipo. Lets it fly from long range. He was all over him.
And there's always so much talk about defense. How about offensively? If you continue to attack that shooter, now you're making him work on the defensive end. That makes him take his legs away on the offensive end.
Rebounded by the Pacers. To Oladipo. Deep three at the buzzer. First half comes to an end. The Rockets with the lead.
The Rockets have the advantage on the scoreboard at halftime. Clearly, the number of three-pointers these guys scored in the first half was incredible. And if they can keep that up, it's going to be tough to keep that team down. These are the guys getting buckets to the Houston Rockets. The Pacers were in need of a bit more scoring if they wanted the halftime lead.
Of course, they still have 2 quarters to turn things around, but it won't happen without making some adjustments.
Have a look at the leading scorers for the Indiana Pacers.
Game track. Bench points.
The Indiana Pacers are getting enough bench production in this contest. Their reserves need to step up and start making an impact in this game.
Player of the half.
I like this choice because he really put on a show in the opening half. There's a reason he's a fan favorite.
Who was cold?
Oladipo
Was unable to find his shot through the first 2 quarters.
Newsflash, you're not on fire. Pass the ball. Here we go with the top 3 plays.
Number 2. Number 1.
And with that, I'm sending it back to Ed and Jay to bring you the rest of the game.
And now Houston has the basketball. Harden to Anthony. Here's a chance from long range. Can't connect. It's no good. Oladipo into the front court. The deficit is 6. To Evans. Here comes the screen. That's blocked by Capella.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
Paul across the timeline. His guys lead here early stages, 3rd quarter. Tucker to Anthony. Harden down. Too much contact and free throws coming.
No, no, no. I'll tell you, the team that makes the little mistakes, like committing unnecessary reach-in fouls like that, will be the team that ends up with the L.
Clint Capella at the line. First try, no good. Misses the second as well. Jay, no question, the Pacers were the surprise of the NBA last year. What are your expectations for them now?
Top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. That's what they have to be. And I think for Kevin Pritchard and Nate McMillan, the post-George era has begun far better than expected. And it all starts with Victor Oladipo. Last year, he was the guy, but this year, he needs to become the man.
It's Rockets ball. Harden to Capella. Clint Capella. Quiet night, but 2 for 3 in the contest right now.
Oh, man, you're not supposed to be able to do that with that size, but in today's game, dexterity and mobility are off the charts for bigs.
Oh, he had him there for a second. Short jumper misses.
It's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
Oladipo into the front court. Now down 6. the mark. Tucker to Harden. Beyond the arc for three, where James Harden, muscle memory, gets it to go.
And watching all these great shooters on the floor at once, it almost mesmerizes me. It's like you're watching the shot in slow motion. The backspin, it gives off the feel that the ball's going in every time.
It goes down. He improvises and scores.
The NBA's most improved player was a guy that always invested in himself, both on and off the court, but he always put in the work to be better. Was a sponge for information, an insatiable appetite to be the best. But the difference is, he's believing in himself. Whether that's singing at the NBA award show or performing at the highest level on the court, it's safe to say that Victor Oladipo has officially arrived.
To Paul. Has a chance. Ooh, Chris Paul. He's 5 for 10, shooting 50%. When you look at playmakers in the last decade plus, what sets Chris Paul apart?
He always puts you in a position to succeed. He leads because he's vocal, and when he directs and he guides, there is nobody better at the position than CP3.
Now it's Harden, controlling the offense. To Capella. Tucker. Surveys the floor. Anthony to Paul. Rockets with 4 to shoot. Paul. And he knocks it down, Jay. There's a sixth sense there that you just can't teach.
If you're a player on the same team with CP3, you should be taking that point guard out to dinner every single night. There's something to be said about a guard that makes the game way easier for you to be even more of an efficient offensive player.
Driving right to the basket. Has a look. Gets a look. Can't hit.
It's so important to instill confidence in your best player. I know he missed a shot earlier, but that doesn't mean that you can't run the same exact play and let him prove he's the player he thinks he is, and we all know he is.
Big pick right there.
Evans. To Oladipo. Nothing going here on that drive. Trying to cash in. Knocks it down from mid-range.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
Houston with the basketball. Anthony to Harden. Curling inside. Count the basket. A lot of contact. No foul. Jay, mixed opinions with Carmelo Anthony. How will you remember his career?
Well, as of right now, he's a catch-and-shoot type player. But for me personally, Carmelo Anthony will go down as one of the greatest isolation players of all time. Back in his Denver days, his earlier New York Knicks days, there was nobody better in an isolated set than CA.
Jay, sum it up. Why was Victor Oladipo the most improved last year?
Because he was no longer Robin. Victor Oladipo has become Batman, and he's owning the responsibility of becoming Batman. And this is going to be a great year for him because he attacks the game the same way Russell Westbrook does. That short stint at OKC taught Victor Oladipo how to compete 24/7.
Oladipo to Collison. Down to Young. Inside, he scores.
What a pass. I have no clue how that ball even made it through the traffic.
With the rock, it's Chris Paul. To Anthony. Capella to Paul. Here comes the screen. Capella down low. Nice pace. Sets it up and slams it down.
See, Ed, that's what I love. You don't need to conserve your energy. You attack that rim with ferocity. You always set the tone.
To Oladipo. Here comes the screen. Nothing going here on that drive. Oladipo to Young. Able to convert inside.
Ed, I get it. I know why Indiana fans love Thaddeus Young. He's that guy that just shows up to work every day and is going to outwork you, outgrind you. They don't make players like that anymore.
To Paul. Tucker. Gets it down to Capella. Leaving no doubt. Slams it down.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice finish. It's all business.
Oladipo into the front court. His guys down by 9. Young to Oladipo. Defense making the ball carrier work. Young to Oladipo. And the slam.
And cutting hard in transition is one of the most underrated things about this game. The harder you can cut is the more it opens up the floor to make plays just like that.
Oh, Capella up to block it.
Ed, that's light work for a guy with his ability.
Here comes the screen. Paul to Harden. Paul. That's good D. Shot no good. Young to Collison. From long range. That's off the side of the rim. Short. Victor Oladipo. Paul the rebound. To Harden. Short jumper off the mark. Into the front court comes Collison. His guys down 11. To Oladipo. To Collison. Oh, Miles Turner. Consistent effort. He's at 50%.
Well, he finished strong because he was able to initiate the contact. When you initiate the contact first, you bounce off the defender, which balances you at the rim.
Both coaches hitting the reset button. Fresh legs coming onto the floor. Chance for Paul. Knocks it down off the step back. He has that sixth sense that you just can't teach.
He's like a traffic cop, and he's navigating a myriad of bodies coming his way. And there's a smaller innuendo of the game that nobody talks about. When he makes a great pass, he'll tell the offensive player, shoot it, go up, dunk it. He will direct you and lead you to success.
Paul, wide open look, won't go.
This game is all about the small victories, though. The execution on that play was on point. You keep executing like that, those shots are going in eventually.
Now Paul with the basketball. It's an 11-point game. Nothing going here on that drive. Turned away by Sabonis.
Sent a message on that one, Ed.
Gerald Green to Carter Williams. Paul. Now that's a contest. 20-footer at the buzzer. There's the buzzer. 3 quarters complete. The Rockets way out in front. So the Pacers with the basketball to start the 4th quarter. And I think the best way to describe where they stand right now is they're down, but they're not out.
It's a game we used to play in the league all the time. It's called a series of stops. That means get 3 stops in a row. Each game is a game within the game. You get 3 stops in a row, and then another 3 stops in a row, you're right back in this ballgame.
And he's fouled. Nice move that time, and he's going to the line for 2.
I don't know about that one, Ed. I always thought your hand was part of the ball.
Tyreke Evans at the line. first one, count it. Two for two on that trip. Here's Paul, controlling the offense. Here comes the screen. Probing the defense. Paul to Gerald Green. Down to 5 on the 24. 4-3. Tough shot for Gerald Green. Off the mark. Collison into the front court. His team down 9. Oladipo to Evans. To Collison. From the painted area, won't go down. Paul into the front court. Looking to make something happen. They go down low to Chris. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
Ed, you ever bail out of something at the last second? That's what I saw right there from the defender. We call that no man's land. They weren't really committed to getting out of the way, committing a hard foul, or taking the brunt of the contact.
Marquise Chris trying to cash in on a three-point play. At this juncture, he's shooting 60% from the line, and he can't convert the free throw. It's Indiana basketball. Collison. To Evans. Fires the 3. Tyreke Evans, when he gets going, hard to stop.
I got to be real here. I think he was the only one expecting to shoot that shot. The crowd, the coaching staff, every other player on the court, and myself, all of our mouths are left wide open right now.
Marquise Chris to Paul. Here comes the screen. Fires the 3. That's off the side of the rim, no good. Into the front court comes Collison. His club staring up at an 8-point deficit. Off the assist.
And for all the people out there that thought Tyreke Evans' career was on the decline, he proved you wrong. He only went out there and averaged better than 19 points per game, the most since his rookie season.
Love the hustle. Sprawled out on the deck. Marquise Chris rocking the rim.
Oh, man, did you see that swiftness? He dunked that thing like a tennis ball.
It looked like that in his hand. Collison into the front court. Down 8. Evans to Collison. Evans to Collison. The Pacers with 4 to shoot. For 3. Oh, good offense beating good defense.
Just because someone is listening to you doesn't mean that they actually hear you. At the end of the game, when players get tired, they listen to what the assignment was, but they didn't hear what it was.
Mixing things up. Hockey line substitutions. Both teams making changes. Chance for Chris Paul. Not that time. Into the front court comes Collison. The deficit now up to 5. Has a chance. Jumper's good.
The defender needs to do a better job of forcing a pickup there.
Rockets in control of the basketball. Here comes the screen. To Paul. Right time, right player.
Can't teach height.
Clint Capella. He's now 5 for 6.
Ed, I have so much admiration for guys that continue to hunt their shot. They're playing the second half like it was the first 5 minutes of the ball game. Those natural-born leaders are guys that will consistently lead your team to the promised land.
Here comes the screen to Collison. Over to the right side. Evans. Paul up to block the shot.
That's why a rim protector is a necessity in this game.
Gordon with it. Up 5. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. And a putback slam.
Woo, that's nasty right there.
Collison into the front court. He'll run the offense. Evans to Collison. Here comes the screen. Collison to Evans. 5 to shoot for Indiana. Collison. Message received. Well defended. On the follow. Way to stay with it.
And attention to detail is everything for a professional scorer like that. Actually getting it done the hard way there.
Here's Paul. Brings it up the floor. Here comes the screen. On the drive, it's Paul, but his shot stays out.
That's superb defense. That's a defense getting there from the weak side early and making the player short on the shot.
He's going to the free throw line to shoot.
No, no, no. I'll tell you, the team that makes the little mistakes, like committing unnecessary reach-in fouls like that, will be the team that ends up with the L.
Kyle O'Quinn at the line. First free throw is good. Goes 2 for 2 at the line. Houston takes over. Paul to Anthony. Probing the defense to Anthony. Shot clock to 4 for Houston. Going to launch beyond the arc. Good contest. No good for Carter Williams. To Oladipo. Young. Oladipo to Evans. The Pacers with 4 to shoot. Oladipo. The rebound comes down to Paul. Carter Williams with it up top. Up by 3. Knocks it down from mid-range.
Look, the Rockets don't take too many mid-range jumpers. Actually, last season, they led the league in three-point attempts. Glad to see them actually find a two-point shot relevant these days.
Looks like both teams are making substitutions. Victor Oladipo. Tough shot. He hits.
Well, the defense has been good, but the shot-making ability has been better. And sometimes for NBA players at this level, the more you're in their face, the more it helps them center their focus on the target, which is making the shot. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, it's a real thing, Ed.
Anthony. That's how you defend.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
Paul with it up top. All even here in the 4th. Big stuff and a lot of traffic on the way to the rim.
And Melo will be the first one to tell you this. He's not ready to be a role player just yet. He can still put up points in bunches. Didn't shoot the ball that well last year, averaged around 16 a game. The lowest total of his 15-year career. Wow.
Goes reverse to lay it in.
Ed, did you see what this pass just did? Now it encourages his teammates to move with more sense of urgency because they understand the next time down the court, they might be on the receiving end of that pass.
Here comes the screen. Anthony to Paul. Unbothered by the defense as he drills it. Jay, he's played for a number of teams in the Western Conference, no less. What do you make of Paul and his willingness to embrace a challenge?
Well, for the first 12 years of his career, he was ball dominant. The ball was forced to be in his hands every possession because nobody else, other than CP3, could make a play. Now there's a shared responsibility with the playmaking skills, and that only allows him to play looser, to play freer, to play more like he played in college, hunting his own shot and thinking pass second, score first.
Pacers control.
I got ball.
Collison to Oladipo. Five on the shot clock. Young. It's no good. Not sure what he was thinking there. Whistle blows, intentional foul.
Some players are built to handle these moments. On one end, you just sparked your team, and at the same time, you also got under your opponent's skin. Just want to manage through the emotions here and not take it too far.
Oladipo into the front court. His guys trail now by 4. Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
And I love the smile on the face of the offensive player. Sometimes luck is on your side. I don't know how that shot went in, but and one.
Victor Oladipo at the line for a chance at a three-point play. For his career, 80% at the line. Free throw up and good. Three-point play. Gets them back to within a point. Now we get a whistle. They'll wrap him up with the intentional foul and a little over 20 seconds left to play.
Okay, now look over to the sideline and see what the staff is trying to draw up on the next play. That's good clock management thus far.
Knocks down the first. And he makes them both. Now a whistle, and Indiana is going to use a timeout. They're going to have to draw something up for an open look at a three. Goes down. Well done.
Look at that. Calm under pressure. You see a lot of guys rush those. Nice extra move there.
Here comes the intentional foul with 10 seconds on the clock.
This is why teammates love him. Yeah, that was an aggressive play, but you're also sending a message, setting the tone. You can't half-step on that.
First one goes down. And gets both to drop at the line. Has a look. No good. The defender was a little too close for comfort. We get a whistle. In the eyes of the ref, he meant it. Intentional foul.
Too close to call right now. We're in clock management mode. That was a good play.
And he connects on the first free throw.
Good shot.
Good free throw shooting. Knocks down a pair. Long key from three-quarters court. It's the Rockets who are victorious as they get a good win on the road. That'll wrap things up. For Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
The Rockets finished with a narrow victory on the scoreboard. I could get into detail about their play calling and shot selection, but let's be honest. We all know that the dunks were the most exciting. I'd be surprised if the rim isn't a little bit bent at this point. Check out the leading scorers for the Houston Rockets. The Pacers
Just couldn't close this one out.
They shot exceptionally well from beyond the arc, but even that long-range efficiency wasn't enough for them to get the win. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Indiana Pacers.
Game track. Three-point shooting.
That does it for us. On behalf of the rest of the crew, good night.